Hi, I'm Shayna Carson, a museum educator at Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art, and this is Bridging the Gap, a series of digital art engagements. In this segment, we will be looking at Tobacco Sorters by Thomas Hart Benton. Before we go any further, make sure you have a pencil and a sheet of paper to respond to a prompt we will work on as we talk and look. Please pause the video to collect what you need. Alright, let's begin with your pencil and paper. First, divide the paper into 3 sections from top to bottom and label each section. The first will be labeled See, the middle will be labeled Think, and the third section will be labeled Wonder. Before we do anything else, let's take a few moments to look closely at the artwork. Start by letting your eyes wander around the painting, looking carefully at all the details. Please pause the video to give yourself time to look. While you pause the video, take a moment to write down the details you notice in the section labeled See. When you're ready, come back to me in the video. Great, you're back and ready to talk. What details did you write down? You may have started looking at the older man and what he holds in his hands. From there, maybe the little girl caught your eye. But did you also notice the busyness in the background? Behind the man and the girl, in the space the artist has created between them, there is a lot going on. Pause the video to write down what you think in the middle section. You can note anything in the artwork that you're thinking about. When you're ready, come back to the video and we will talk some more. Let's start with the older man. Notice his clothing. What do you think he does for a living? His face is interesting too, all wrinkled and worn. What emotion do you think his face is expressing right now? He and the little girl are holding something. What do you think it is? The little girl looks up at the older man. What emotion do you think her face is expressing? How is she dressed? To the girl's left, we see a stack of flat yellow things. What do you think the man and the girl are doing with the things in that stack? Why do you think they are doing this together? Let's go further into the painting. What do you think is going on in the background? Now, let's consider what you wonder. Are there any questions you have that you can answer right now? Write those down in the Wonder column to consider as you look at and think more about this painting. The painter of this artwork, Thomas Hart Benton, grew up wandering the farms and back roads around his hometown of Nisho, Missouri. In the early 1900s, when Benton was a boy, Nisho was a small farming town, just like it is today. At the same time, he lived part of the year in Washington, D.C., where his father represented Southwest Missouri in Congress. During the summer, young Benton would accompany his father as he traveled the region. As a result, Benton developed a feel for the rural people who would later populate his artworks. Later, as an adult, Benton traveled widely, but a visit to his sick father in 1924 changed his life. After that visit, Benton began making drawing trips around the country, sketching ordinary people going about their work and lives. This fascination with ordinary people grew into a style called regionalism, which was popular in the 1930s. Regionalism developed during the Great Depression and showed realistic scenes of rural life and people that usually were never shown in art. Benton felt national welfare and progress would be accomplished by ordinary people who produce things, like farmers. Tobacco Sorters is a good example of regionalism because it shows family farmers in 1942 at the end of the Great Depression, which had been a very hard time for those folks. As you continue to look more closely at this work of art, you may discover that you have more to wonder about than you did before. You may even have a different outlook about analyzing works of art. Thank you for watching. This has been Bridging the Gap.